beef up your IT skills, consider joining itpro.tv, my favorite online training provider. They have thousands of hours of content for everything IT related. Use the coupon code ITCQ30 and you can save 30% off your premium membership. Please check out the link in the description below. If you have questions about getting into IT, consider joining our Discord server. We have hundreds of people there just like you who are starting their careers in IT, and they can help answer any questions that you may have, and I'll be there to help answer questions as well. Links in the description below. I can't wait to see you there. If you're looking for a step-by-step training guide on how you can get started in IT, check out our first official training course at www.itcq.tv. This step-by-step course will not only show you the skills and knowledge that's needed to get an entry-level IT job, but it'll also show you how you can gain an advantage. Check out the link in the description of this live stream, and thank you so much for your support. Yo, they drew first blood, not me. That's a Rambo quote, by the way. Because I'm about to go Rambo on these fools. What's wrong with these companies who have a 3 to 5 year requirement for an entry-level job? It makes no sense at all, right? We're frustrated by it. You guys are frustrated by it. I know. I've seen it all over LinkedIn the past week. People have been blowing up LinkedIn, tagging me in different posts with screenshots from companies that are requiring just ridiculous things for an entry-level job. It's not an entry-level job at that point. And I commented on somebody's post because they were like, you know, it's an entry-level job for that organization, right? Like, okay, sure. This organization is saying, hey, we have this entry-level job over here. You need to have 3 years of experience. You need a CISSP. You need a master's degree. And we're going to pay you $15 an hour. Get bent. Like, what? Yes, this is real. Like, these are real things that are happening. These are real job postings from companies who have no idea what the heck they're doing, apparently. But there's also another side to this, too. Because I was just recently introduced to this side of it, because as you all know, we're going through these crazy times where there's a lot of people losing their jobs. There's tons of people losing their jobs. You have entry-level jobs. So actually, these entry-level jobs have halfway decent requirements, where, you know, they may not be like asking for years upon years of experience or a CISSP, but you have these individuals who have years of experience, who have maybe a CISSP, but, you know, have like, you know, mid-level to top-level certifications, who are now applying for entry-level jobs. And people aren't hiring these people because they know that as soon as this whole pandemic kind of eases up a little bit, that they'll be gone in no time. So there's this weird thing happening in the industry right now where the entry-level job market is so screwed up. And I would say that most of the blame definitely falls on these companies, these organizations who are posting ludicrous jobs and job requirements, job titles even. And we've talked so many times about job titles meaning absolutely nothing, because in reality, I mean, look, if you look at job titles nowadays and you read those descriptions, they're just so... What's a good word for it? Somebody give me a good word for it, because it's disgusting. Like, it's just so disturbing. So, instead of these jobs that are saying, hey, this is an entry-level job, we want you to have X, Y, and Z for our requirements, they need to not label these jobs as entry-level. Sure, it could be an entry-level into that organization, but in the reality of things, like, you are screwing up the entire industry by posting like these jobs and job titles that have ludicrous requirements to go with it. You're making the industry, because there's so many organizations that do this, and it's so frustrating. You know, you can't just like single out one or two organizations that are doing this. It's literally across the entire industry, across the entire world, where organizations are doing this. It's very misleading. Yes, misleading. Thank you, Rob. And it's just so frustrating because for an entry-level job, you don't need experience. So if they're going to list an entry-level job and require experience, they should probably call that job something different. And they should probably pay that person, an affordable wage. Because requiring 3 to 5 years of experience and requiring a degree, like any kind of degree, I don't even care at this point, right? Like if you require a degree and you're going to pay somebody $15 an hour for a quote-unquote entry-level job, I have very bad words for you. I'm not going to say them because YouTube likes to demonetize me every time I say a bad word. So no more bad words, unfortunately, because I don't want YouTube to hate me. But it's crap. It is. Thanks, Nick. It is total crap, and I'm frustrated for you guys. I'm upset for you guys out there who are trying to get into this field, who come across this BS. But here's the encouragement. Like here's this light at the end of the tunnel, right? Even if a job is requiring ludicrous nonsense, right? If you still need a job, apply anyway, guys. Like, job requirements are a wish list. I've said this so many times that I feel like I'm blue in the face, and I hate repeating myself, and I do it far too often. I'm sorry for that. But really, just job requirements are a wish list. Like, every organization wants the perfect unicorn to pop into their environment and, make things better, right? They want that perfect unicorn that has the 5 years of experience, who has a master's degree, who will take $15 an hour. That's just in reality though. Like here's the sad thing, right? Like here's the crap of it. Does it happen? Do people actually take these jobs? Yeah, they do, because they need them. Like they need these jobs and they jump all over them. So people think it's okay to do this. It's okay to require 5 years of experience and require a master's degree, and we can pay them $15 an hour because we know at some point we're going to find somebody to do it. And that just falls in line with desperation, right? And that's unfortunate that we run into that. It's a sad state of things, especially during these times. There's a lot of desperation. There's a lot of it. So the industry, while I want to say great and amazing things, I can't right now because I'm frustrated by it. I'm frustrated with these organizations who are doing this to the potential future of IT, right? Like, it makes no sense. I genuinely feel bad that this happens. Like, I genuinely, I get so frustrated by it. I hate when people tag me in this crap, because I like it. I'm glad that people are making it, making me aware of it and making other people aware of it. But it's sad, guys. Like, it's sad. So what do you need to do? Can you realistically, if you have a master's degree and you have mid-level, top-level certifications, can you realistically take a job for $15 an hour that's considered quote-unquote entry-level? Like, I actually can't answer that for you because I don't know your life. I don't know your circumstances. For some people, and here's the other thing, here's what people also don't realize. Like, across the world, across the United States specifically, right? The median in wages is so skewed, it's so jacked up. If for you to afford an apartment, like the tiniest apartment in Chicago, you have to be making at least $2,500 a month, right? Like $2,500 a month to at least afford your rent and afford everything else that you need to do. At least that. Rent is ridiculously expensive. You need to be making far more than $2,500 a month. $15 an hour, that just doesn't cut it, right? That's not going to do anything for you. But there's some places in the U.S. that $15 an hour, it's a wage, right? It's money. It'll get you by. It can definitely get you by. But there's two faults in this entire thing, which is we as the technicians, as the IT professionals, we're at fault because we take these opportunities. We prove to the industry that it's okay. It's okay if you guys want to pay me $15 an hour. It's okay if you want to require 3 to 5 years of experience. I'm going to take that job because I need it, because I want it, because I'm desperate. And that's unfortunate because, again, it sends this message that it's okay, and it's not okay. Like, it's not okay. Like, IT in its entirety is a trade, right? It should be considered a trade. It's, at its root, a trade, right? Like, apprenticeships should be a thing. Like, absolutely 100%. Apprenticeships should be like the standard of getting into this field because it's a trade. Like, we spend years upon years developing our skill in this trade. And many of us go out there and we develop these skills on our own. There's not a lot of organizations that actually spend the money to train you, to help you achieve a better life, right? Apprenticeships would help so much with, oh my gosh, all of this. I don't know. My chat is not working for some reason. Sorry if I missed anything. Doesn't look like there's many people in chat. Killer headband, bro. It's actually my face mask. See? Look at. Oh yeah. Now I'm ready to go. Look at this crazy hair. My hairline's receding or something. It looks terrible. Anyway. I'm frustrated for you guys. I'm honestly so sick of seeing this stuff on LinkedIn. I figured let's do a live stream about it. Let's talk about it. I've talked about this so many times. Even like yesterday, I shared the video that I put out on. I put it on YouTube a while ago, where I did like a quote unquote interview with HR. Right? It's a joke, guys. Like, it's just a joke. Slightly off topic, but is it easier to get an IT job in Silicon Valley? You're 20 and about to take the A+. Man, it's not. It's not easy to get a job anywhere right now. Everybody's going to have difficulties. You know, the larger market that you're in, there's obviously a lot more opportunity, but the larger market that you're in also leads to more competition. So when you're in somewhere like Silicon Valley, you're in Chicago, when you're in New York, when you're in these tech hubs of the world, right? There's plenty of opportunity. I mean, if I were to go out on Indeed.com right now and search for any type of IT job in Chicago specifically, like, I'm going to find probably hundreds of IT jobs. But here's the reality of it, right? There's probably 10 times that amount of people looking for jobs, right? There's probably, 1,000 people, if not more, right? Like, at any given moment. 1,000 is probably really low. But they're all looking for these jobs, so there's tons of competition. So how do you stand out? How do you get ahead of it, right? Like, if you want to succeed in this field, like if you want to, get a job that actually is going to pay you a decent wage, that's going to not require you have, a master's degree and not require you have a CISSP, which there are plenty of these jobs out there that don't have these ludicrous requirements and they pay you a halfway decent salary. You have to better yourself, right? Like, you have to make yourself more marketable. How do you make yourself more marketable? I've talked about this too in a bunch of videos. But, you can start off by something that's so extremely simple. And what I've discovered from this, what I've discovered from even talking about this, like even mentioning the mere fact of, hey, build your own home lab. Like, people get intimidated by this for whatever reason. Like, if you guys can't take the initiative to build your own home lab, like, shame on you. Because you don't want to better yourself. You don't want to do better. Like, you already, at this point, if you're looking to get in IT, you're beginning this path, you more than likely have a computer, right? And if you don't have a computer, well, I mean, if you want to work in IT, you should probably have a computer, right? So you have a laptop, you have a desktop, you can virtualize so many different operating systems. You can virtualize, an entire network from the tips of your fingers, right? Like, you use your computer. That's all you need. This is going to help you better yourself. This is going to help you become more marketable. This gives you more hands-on experience. Now, of course, I could say, hey, build a home lab and then tell people about it. No, build a home lab and document it, because you need to show people and prove to people that you're competent, that you're capable. So go out, build a home lab. You don't have to spend any money. If you already have a computer, you can download VirtualBox for free. You can download Windows ISOs for free. You can download Linux ISOs for free. And who cares about Mac? If you want to learn Mac, just virtualize Linux. Period. The end. Next, virtualize, a network. You can do this. GNS3. What's the other one? God, I always forget what's the other one called for virtualization in your networks? I can't think of it. Somebody's gonna let me know. Somebody's gonna tell me. Net Plus or CCNA? CCNA all day long. What is that? Something. What is the name of that program that lets you virtualize your network? Come on, guys. I guess the chat's delayed too. Packet Tracer. All you had to say was packet tracer. Yes, packet tracer. That's the one. You can virtualize an entire network with that, right? Like, guys, this is how you better yourself. You have to put in the work. I mean, you have to, and especially in today's world, like, it was definitely much easier before this whole pandemic happened, right? It was definitely much easier to get a job. There was still a lot of difficulties with it, but now even more so, you have to validate that you are actually a skilled professional to have an advantage, right? Like, you guys can have no experience, that's fine. Have no certifications, have no degree, but for the love of everything holy, build a home lab and document it, please. Please, please, please. The documentation part is the most important part of it all. The more that you can document it and make that available for people to see, especially putting things in your own words, putting the process in which you completed things, how you set up a DNS server, how you set up DHCP, maybe you set up Microsoft Deployment Toolkit, maybe you built, like 17 different VMs and you got like 10 Windows workstations and you got like 3 Linux boxes and you built this entire network right from your home, right? Like, you can document that entire process. And it's just something that you have to do, guys. Like, I can't explain to you enough, and I can't recommend enough, like, how important this is. The industry right now is hurting, right? Like, the industry right now is in not a great place. Like, completely honest with you, no BS. The industry is not in the best of places right now. But that's right now. The cool thing about IT, it's always going to be needed. Technology will always be a requirement going forward. You guys see how fast the technology field evolves. We have to be there with it and evolve with it. Because if we don't, then we get left behind. And then IT isn't a suitable career for you. If you can't keep up with it, if you can't knowingly and willingly better yourself by continuously learning, like, don't even step foot in this field. The competition is fierce. There's a lot of competition. When do I think the job market will recover? I don't know. When do we think this pandemic will be over? This is the best answer I got for you. I mean, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with the pandemic even, like, obviously that there's the big fault in it all. But as we transition through this, right? Like, as the entire world transitions through this, we could see IT start to pick up again, even if, we're still on lockdown, because we're still going to need support. We're still going to need people supporting these technologies. And I was even thinking last night, as I was like laying in bed, and I'm like, it would probably make sense, because there are so many remote opportunities, and going forward there's going to be even more remote opportunities, that becoming somehow affiliated with organizations in a contracting sense to help support their remote users would make a lot of sense. Because think of all these remote users across the world, and especially even now, like I said, going forward, you're going to have, remote workers, working for a company that has headquarters in, Kansas, right? Like, that headquarters are in Kansas, and you got people working for this company who live in Florida, like, how do you support those remote workers directly, right? Like, yeah, there's only so much that you can do, to support a user remotely. Like, there's only so much that you can do when you're remoting into somebody's computer, or trying to walk them through how to do something. Hey, I'm going to walk you through how to unplug all of your cables and plug them back in. Yeah, that's a real thing. You're going to have to do that. right? Like, how much more sense would it make to have, like contractors across the globe that could handle stuff like that? And then also validate those workers. Like, how can we validate these contract workers across the world to help support remote workers, right? Because you're going to have somebody at times that's going to be able to go on site to this person in Florida, right? Like you said, headquarters could be in Kansas, but you might at some point need somebody to go on site to help support these users. There's a lot at hand here, right? There's so many different things going on. But yeah, I would imagine that the IT industry will pick back up. Probably maybe more quickly than we think, but I couldn't speculate on when it's going to pick back up. I know right now, almost every single day, I'm seeing somebody saying, I got laid off. I got furloughed. And then, of course, you see people you see these news articles where hundreds of people get laid off and hundreds of people get furloughed. It's crap. It sucks, right? I get it. It's a pandemic. Blah, 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 blah. I know. But what this does is create more competition. What this does is create more desperate. I can't even say that word. People get more desperate. How about that? Disparity. There we go. It creates disparity. And people who have 3 to 5 years of experience and have a college degree might not have a choice other than taking a job that pays $15 an hour. Harshit says, saw this job posting that said, we'll pay you with experience, like experience paying bills. Yeah, but a college degree in this related field is irrelevant. Yeah, nobody cares what your college degree is in. Look at Google, guys. Google doesn't care about your degrees anymore. Google could care less about your degrees. Every time I say Google, my freaking phone starts going off. Thanks, Google, for listening to me all the time. Now I forgot what I said because I was getting a phone call too. Yeah, look at Google. Like, Google doesn't require a degree anymore, and they're building their own certification track. And they're saying, hey, our certification track is equal to a 4-year college degree. That's impressive. Look at POTUS, President of the United States of America, who a few weeks ago said, hey, we got some federal jobs. We don't care if you have a degree or not. We want to fill these federal jobs. So we're dropping the degree requirement to work for the federal government. Right? Like, what does that say about college degrees? Right? Zach trying not to curse is the funniest thing. It is probably funny. I'm sorry. So yeah. That's where we're at with all of this, guys. And I apologize to you guys, first of all. I feel terrible for so many of you guys out there who are struggling. But I just told you, like, our job requirements are a wish list. So just apply for these jobs anyway. If they require 3 to 5 years of experience and they require a degree, what's it going to hurt to apply anyway? Are your feelings really going to be hurt that bad if they came around and said, no, we're not interested? Because if your feelings are going to be that hurt by hearing no, then you got a huge wake-up call, because you're going to be hearing no for the rest of your life. So apply for jobs anyway. And when you hear no, move on to the next. Thank you, next. Is that going to start beeping out words soon? I could probably set up like a sound bar or something. Where I could, hit the soundbar button every time I curse. Like, son of a beep! That would be fun. I don't know if it's the live chat. Let's see if the live chat works. Uh-oh. Heck, apply even if it says 20 years experience. I mean, if they're requiring 20 years of experience, that's a whole different story. We need to just apply meme to send every time we get that question. We sure do. Why waste the time, though, if you don't meet the requirements? You may not even get a call or an email. That is a great question. So why are you going to waste the time? Because of something that I mentioned earlier in the stream. these companies are posting these jobs, these open jobs, and they put ludicrous requirements. Many times, most of the time, they're looking for a unicorn, right? Which a unicorn doesn't exist. A unicorn in the IT industry, specifically related, to job hunting and whatnot, a unicorn would be that person that meets every single one of those job requirements that they posted in that job description. That's the unicorn. Nobody ever gets a unicorn. Nobody ever meets everybody's, like, every single job description. It just doesn't happen. Like, there's not anybody in this world who I think probably meets every single, checkbox that somebody wants to see. Maybe, I guess there's probably some people that do. But in the reality of things, specifically when it comes to entry-level work, you're never going to find somebody who wants to apply for an entry-level job when they have a master's degree, when they already have experience. So what you're going to do is you're going to apply anyway, because what's going to happen is they're not going to find the person that they want. And maybe by you just taking the 10 minutes it takes to freaking apply for a job, you could have a chance. You could have a chance because they're not going to find somebody. So your resume might pop up, right? They might go through all the stacks of resumes because they can't find the person that they want. Maybe they come across yours and they're like, oh, let's just give this guy a call. Let's see what he's about. That's how it happens. Every single job I've ever applied for, I've never met the requirements. I probably met, like, in most cases, 30% of the requirements. And I mean, later on in my career, maybe 60% of the requirements, 70% of the requirements. I'm not going to hit up every single requirement. This is not real life. Real life is you apply for everything because you have to at this point. If you're not applying for everything, you're missing out. It's the truth, yo. Any more tips to stand on your resume besides home labs? I mean, I've done a couple resume videos. I would suggest checking those out. So yeah, that's where we're at with this industry. It's frustrating. I strongly dislike organizations that do this. KevTech IT support, thank you for the super chat, bro. Love you. Screw job requirements. Apply to the job anyway. Embrace rejection and keep applying until someone opens the door for you. Could not have said that any better myself. It's the truth, man. It's the truth. And this is like the best encouragement that I can give you guys. Like, you just apply anyway. You just go for it. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to hear no. And if you're afraid to hear no, grow up. Sorry. That's cool. Yeah, like that. That's just, hey, here's real talk. Zach won't have the best tips for software since that's not what he does. Also, oh yeah, I don't do software. I don't like software. I don't like applications. I don't like programming. It's not fun. It's not fun for me. Man. So, you guys got questions? I might have answers. I only got in about another 10 minutes because in about at 1 o'clock I'm doing a college for kids class. So the local community college was offering a YouTube or a content creator class, and I volunteered to teach that class to kids. So I got a class full of kids that I get to teach about how to get started out on YouTube and be content creators. It is so, honestly, it is so much fun. It is the most enjoyable experience I've had in a very long time. Like the coolest thing, it was like on the first day, I was, I had to say, hey guys, this is who I am, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I got to show you because it's right here. I was like, look guys, I worked hard. Here's the steps that I took to get this. You guys can get one of these too. And the looks on their faces, guys, oh my gosh, it was priceless. It was the cutest, most adorable thing because they're like, oh, that's so cool, right? But, here's the reality of things too. Hey guys, if you want to do a YouTube channel, you should absolutely do it because you could do this too. You could do exactly what I'm doing. You just got to put in the work, like everything else. Brandon B, what's up, boss? Thank you for Zach's swear jar fund. Thanks, bro. You better believe as soon as I end this live stream, I'm gonna drop F-bombs left and right. Keep it techie. What's going on, boss? Thank you for the super chat. You've been laid off as well. Sometimes you have to take lower positions to get back to where you want to be. Keep training though. Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true. Like sometimes you do have to just take a step back because those are the only opportunities that you have available to you. And you know what? Sometimes there's nothing wrong with that. Like as long as you continue to be on the right track, like as long as you continue to have a goal, like taking a step back might mean making two steps forward. Like, have you ever heard, I'm sure you guys have heard something similar to that. Like you could take a step back, but by taking that step back, it allows you an opportunity to move even further into your career. Oh, anyway, thank you, Brandon B. Take it easy, bro. Jet Force Gem Knight, you were on contract with Disney IT in Burbank, and they have no word on going back. You've been on furlough since March 29th. Bro, I'm sorry. That sucks, man. That sucks. A YouTube channel is fun to have, and I agree with you. I learn a lot by making videos, too. You know, there's been quite a few videos where I've had to sit down and actually learn more about what I was talking about to actually produce, like, a video that makes sense. And that's the fun of it. Like, I think that's, like, the funnest part of my job is, like, I get to actually go out and, like, research a lot of things that maybe before I wouldn't have had the opportunity to research. You know? It's fun. Like, learning about Docker, which eventually I'll be putting out a video on Docker, but learning Docker was so exciting for me. Somebody asked earlier about my AZ900 studies. I do want to mention that. Like, so because I'm doing this College for Kids class, which is all this week. My exam was scheduled for yesterday or Tuesday. Tuesday? Yesterday. I don't know. One of the days. I had to reschedule it because the time fell on when I'd be teaching the class. But plus also, like last week I had just gotten like the official word that class is going to be starting. So I hadn't made any types of curriculum for it. So I basically had to stop doing everything else that I was doing so that I could make sure I had the right curriculum for this class. So I rescheduled it for August, like August 22nd or 23rd. So as soon as this class is done, I'm getting right back into the studies with the AZ900. I'm super stoked about it. Like, I think about that AZ900 every single day. And like, I just think about what I've already learned, which makes me excited. Like the fact that I'm not even studying right now, but I'm continuing like every single day. Like I think about like some of the things like I've learned, like that gets me excited for it. Like it's something that's so basic and simple, right? AZ900, it's fundamentals of cloud computing, in Azure, of course. But dude, it's exciting. Like here's the littlest things. Like here's something that, you know, like I wasn't given the opportunity when I was working in IT to play around in the cloud, right? Like I've worked with many cloud services, but you know, I never had the opportunity to dive deep into the entire world of cloud computing. And now I have the opportunity where I can actually just, hey, give myself that opportunity, right? Like I can say, hey, your job is to do this and you're going to learn it. I don't have to rely on an employer saying, hey, you don't have time to learn that, whatever, you know, anyway. What up? Collab with Chuck? I could try to collab with Chuck again. We collabed, what, last year? I don't know. Chuck's like buddy with CompTIA now, so he might have to remain unaffiliated with me for some time. So that might not happen anytime soon. Just, you know, did my chat, like, give out again? This chat's out. Like, I don't know what's up with this chat, yo. Anyway, I got about like 2 more minutes. So if you guys got any questions, now's the time to answer. But just to follow up, apply for jobs anyway, even if they have ludicrous requirements, man. Like, just apply anyway. Errol HL, Zach, you're looking well, bro. Very chill and stress-free. For sure, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Checking the chat. Lee Lipinski, you assume these companies know what they are doing in terms of shooting for the stars and taking the best they can get. Keep in mind, I'm dumb. That said, what does a home lab look like for a newbie? If you want to build a home lab, I would strongly suggest you start off, go over to the Curious IT channel, and I documented in a series so far about setting up a Windows server, domain controller, Active Directory. That's a home lab. as part of a home lab. This the first steps to a home lab. Abu, what's the best way to learn Linux? The best way to learn Linux is to download VirtualBox or download VMware and download a Linux ISO and install that Linux ISO through VirtualBox or VMware and dive in. Like, you can pick up any single YouTube video that's out there for Linux fundamentals and you can follow along right from your very own computer. That's the best way to learn Linux. You immerse yourself into Linux. Do it up. Do you still keep it techie? Yes, bro. Absolutely. I still want to do an interview with you. Sorry, things are just always crazy and busy. If Jumpy is in this chat, or even Allie is in this chat, they know that I'm terrible at getting back to people. Sorry. Attention fan, you're currently working on an Active Directory at Home Lab, so I could ask for help on documentation on Discord. Absolutely. Join the Discord. Please join the Discord, and you can ask any questions you guys want. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Like 12 knots. No clue. I don't even know what an unladen swallow is. I don't even know what do you measure airspeed in? Is it miles per hour? Kilometers per hour for the rest of the country or the rest of the world? Knots is for the sea, right? Shows what I know. I only know computers, guys. Come on. What is the best technology to learn for the next 3 years? Anything security related. And cloud. Cloud or security. Both of those. Just learn both of them. Honestly, like, that's the best advice I can give. Pure Av, what's up, boss? All right, guys. I got to get going because I got to get prepared for this class. Thank you all for joining this live stream. Thank you all for the super chats, hanging out. Please remember, just apply for these freaking jobs anyway, because nobody's going to find a unicorn out there. But you might turn into a pseudo unicorn by filling their need. So apply for jobs. And I think in future streams, we might start looking out on Indeed and Monster and looking at these companies that have ludicrous job requirements. And we'll just have fun talking crap about them. Because they're stupid. I'm mad. Anyway. Proverb. I'm going to answer this question. This is the last question I'm answering. How much PowerShell proficiency do you need to know as a sysadmin engineer? A lot. Okay, actually, here. If you want to be a good sysadmin or a good system engineer, you learn PowerShell. Period. Like, period, the end. Goodbye. Have a great day.